When I went through the surgery, I went to meet with the surgeon. You know, these doctors, God, I mean, they talk about bedside manner. Maybe some communication skills might be nice. Maybe they should add that to an MD. I meet with a guy and he goes, okay. I said, well, let's cover my options. He says, all right, well, you can do nothing and die. And that was an actual option he gave me. Thanks, Doc. What's your fee for that? He says, okay, we can just take your eye out right now and put a glass eye in. I'm like, you know, that doesn't sound a whole lot better than the first one, quite frankly. But he said what they used to do was, as eye doctors, it was about saving the eye. So they would literally take the eyeball and pull it out of the head, make an incision behind the eye, and take the tumor out, sew it up, put the eye back in. And because it was about saving the eye, he said they didn't realize how insidious a disease cancer is. So they'd rip the eyeball out, do that, and then what would happen is, because they cut into the eye, it would release the cancer cells into the body, and the patient would die from liver, lung, or kidney cancer a couple years later. And I can tell you right now, because of the research and the money that you're going to provide by doing what you're doing, they found out they were killing people doing that. But I know for a fact, if I had gone in and I had an option to get a glass eye or have my eye plucked out and cut into, I would have gone with the plucking and the cutting versus the glass eye. So now, because of the technology and the money that's raised, they add a third option. You know, I mean, the only thing about the glass eye, and I even made this comment to him, was it might be fun at parties. But I took the third option, which was they took my eye and they pushed it down into my skull. I was unconscious. And they took a radioactive chip and put it behind my eyeball. And then for 7 days, I was floating on painkillers. And because I started without the painkillers, and it felt like the right side of my head was on fire. And then 7 days I kept that in there. And then the 7th day went back in for another surgery, and they took it out. But when I went in for the first surgery, they put the chip in, right? I come out of surgery, and I'm just foggy, just laying there. And I look down, and I've got one of those nuclear bracelets on. You know, do not come within 10 feet. So I'm laying there, and there's a nurse over here, and there's a couple over here. And the two nurses over here see me starting to come around, and they start walking over. The nurse over here goes, wait, he's hot. I stopped. I was still out of it, but I'm like, can you just say that one more time? So then the doctor came in, you know, and I saw you can't come within 10 feet. So the doctor comes in, and I said, Doc, you know, this whole 10 feet thing, because of the radiation, I go, is that because of the chip behind my eye that, you know, nobody can come within 10 feet? And he said, yeah, that's right. And I go, the chip that's like a half inch from my brain. He goes, yeah, that's right. That was all the explanation I got. I was like, okay, great. So the surgery went fine. It went great. I went through that. I didn't have to go through chemo, so I talked to, when I sent that email out, I got so many stories from people that their whole body was riddled with tumors, and they had to go through all this chemo, and and I did a ton of research on it, and I just, I really felt like I got off pretty lucky to have just had it, because they didn't cut into my eye. It was localized inside the eyeball. It didn't come out. So now, like I said, my vision's just shot. The other thing is, and the last time I spoke, I actually brought a picture to put up, but in pictures, my right eyeball glows. I mean, like a cyborg.
Give us a picture, honey.
Yeah, seriously. Take a picture and then go look at it. The right eye, I dressed up as Santa one year for some kids. There's a picture of me with the beard and everything on, and Santa's eyes is just glowing. And I'm sure, obviously it's because of the radiation. It pretty much killed my eye. But, as I said earlier, if it wasn't for what you guys are doing and that money, I would have, first of all, the radiation technology wouldn't even exist. They wouldn't have that to be able to kill cancer with it. And then secondly, they'd still be cutting into people's eyes, and they'd still be dying in 2 or 3 years. It was roughly 3 years ago for me. So I mean, I definitely wouldn't be here speaking to you guys right now at all. So I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. I want to go through some of these ways to help you in what you're doing, what you're about to do. One thing is, I want to make you feel comfortable no matter who you're talking to. The thing is, right now, people aren't really good listeners. I don't know if you noticed that. You ever talk to somebody on the phone and you hear a keyboard going 90 miles an hour a minute? I mean, it happens all the time, right? Nobody pays attention to anyone. A lot of times they're just too busy thinking about what they're going to say next. I have a friend of mine who came to talk to me about, he said, I don't understand why no one wants to hang out with me. I said, well, how are you feeling right now? Can I tell you the truth? Or do I need to make you feel good? He goes, I knew he was going to answer, right? He said, no, you can tell me the truth. I said, okay, the truth is, you're so stuck on yourself for some reason. You think what you have to say is so important, you don't listen to anybody. When someone else is talking, you sit there thinking about what you're going to say next like it's so important. They don't care. They just want to know they're being listened to. And I actually had done this to him, and I told him I wouldn't tell anyone, so you guys don't say anything. But what I said to him was, I could tell he was in one of those moods, right? And you all know that you've talked to that person like that. He's just out there. And so I said, man, Mickey Mouse is going to be so mad. And he goes, yeah. And I go, I was walking down the street and I saw Minnie Mouse kissing Donald Duck, and I know it's going to get back to Mickey. But I said it, not in a joking way, like we were conversing. He's like, yeah, I bet you're right. And he just kept right on talking. And so when I told him he had done this, he didn't believe me. He's like, no way. I said, you think I'm making this up? You asked me why people don't want to hang out with you. That's why. I said, if I wasn't teasing you all the time, I wouldn't want to either. So I gave him a tip that works really well, and you guys will be able to use it. You can talk to anybody this way. Walk into a party, you'll never, ever, ever be shy or not have something to say. And it's good to put pictures. Use pictures when you're trying to remember stuff. So this one, picture, anytime you're feeling uncomfortable when you're talking to someone, picture a red Ford Mustang, okay, convertible, like going sideways, skidding, right between the two of you. And what that stands for, Ford, F-O-R-D, okay? Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. You ask somebody about their family, there's a million questions you can ask. You ask them about their occupation, what they do for work, what they want to do, what they want to do when they were a kid. There's a million questions there. Recreation, what do you do for fun? If you could do anything you wanted to for a week, what would it be? That kind of stuff, recreation. And then if you get to dreams, and you ask someone, what do you dream about? Where do you dream about being in 10 years? That kind of stuff. More than likely, you'll probably be the only person in the last 5 years to have actually asked them about their dreams or shown any interest at all. So when you're communicating with all these people, which you're going to be doing, going out and getting all those rejections, you must be really psyched about it. Excited? Yeah. What? Off?
Tornado.
Tornado. All right. Well, listen here. Okay, I'm just going to end with a couple of quotes. One was John Updike. Anybody know who he is? JohnUpdike.com. Just kidding. Dreams come true. Without that possibility, nature would not incite us to have them. And I think all of us in this room here have the same dream that someday we'll be able to move on and have a relay for another disease because cancer will be gone. And I can't thank you guys enough for what you do because, like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the time and energy that you guys put into this. And also, I wrote a book, and I brought a couple copies, and we'll do, I guess if you remember the number on your bill, we'll pull a couple bills out, and whoever's bill we pull, anybody actually remember their number? Yeah. Really? Good job, Kevin. You suck in every one of you guys. All right, well, listen, it's my pleasure to be here. I just really want to say thank you so much, and I've got a ton of other stuff on that site. You're welcome to all of it, so thank you.